Hi, I'm Graeme Innes and I'm the Disability Discrimination Commissioner for Australia, and I'm excited to be involved with this event where a delegation of young people from non-government organisations is taking part in the Conference of States Parties. The Conference of States Parties is a United Nations event where all of the countries who have signed up to the Disability Convention meet and talk about progress. And often people from non-government organisations also attend. The government funds participation by people with disabilities at international conferences, and the Human Rights Commission administers those funds. And this year we've decided to send 7 young people from Australia under the age of 30 who are involved in the disability sector from their non-government organisations to attend this activity in New York, and we have a very excited group of young people who'll be going.
My name's Cashel Dunn, I'm 24 years old and I'm from Melbourne.
My name is Bonnie, I'm 28 and from SA, Adelaide. I prefer spoken language.
Hi, my name is Brendan Pearce and I am 20 years old and I'm from the northern New South Wales town of Lismore.
My name is Desiree Johnson, I'm 27 years old and I come from northern Tasmania.
My name's Ace Boncato, I am 28 years old and I am from Sydney, New South Wales.
My name's Lauren Henley, I'm 28 years old and I am from Melbourne, Victoria.
My name's Joel Wilson, I'm 28 years old and I'm from Perth.
Well, I've had a lot of different involvement in the disability sector. I grew up my mother working in the disability sector, and so I was always surrounded by different areas and aspects of that, and I've worked with CRS Australia doing presentations and just secretary work for them, and also doing lots of different volunteer work in different areas.
I'm a strong advocate for social justice in the disability field. I currently work for South Australia Police, but I want to get more involved in the social justice side of things. I am most passionate about regional and rural disability services. I believe we need more, and I would like in the future to focus on Aboriginal communities with disabilities.
My involvement in the disability sector so far has been as the chair of the Australian Hearing Paediatric Programs Advisory Committee, and within that I look after chairing a team of clients, young adult clients and parents, and we look at how we can best improve the services delivered by Australian Hearing. As well as that, I've had a strong involvement as someone personally living with a disability and ensuring that people within my local community know and understand how to treat people with a hearing impairment.
Well, originally I started in 2007 in a disability organisation called Speak Out. I was on the members exec for probably 2.5 years. And then now I have become the president of Speak Out. Speak Out is for those with intellectual disabilities. However, people with physical disabilities do come and attend. It's really great. We just get together and talk about what's going on or anything that's coming up.
I started as a member of the New South Wales Youth Advisory Council. That's what actually got me into making systemic change and being part of I guess, making a difference and getting that equity for young people and for people with disability. I've also been working with the Multicultural Disability Advocacy Association and the National Disability Ethnic Alliance, and we aim to promote, protect and secure the rights of people from non-English speaking backgrounds or culturally and linguistically diverse backgrounds with disability, their families and carers.
I became blind in 2006 after a motor vehicle accident. accident, and after that point it sort of prompted me to think about a lot of the barriers facing people with a disability. So I started advocacy. I was elected into a voluntary position with Blind Citizens Australia, one of the local branches in Newcastle, and I was president there for a couple of years before I got a paid advocacy position with BCA. I did 3 years in that role, so it was systemic and individual advocacy work, and more recently I've moved into the role of National Policy Officer.
Well, I was diagnosed with Asperger's when I was 13. It was only the last couple of years that I've become actively involved in the sector, from numerous things like going to the Asia Pacific Autism Conference in Adelaide last year, and also doing public speaking and some mentoring and consultancy advice.
It's really important to develop strong and continuing leadership in the disability sector. And as an older leader, I and my colleagues in the sector are very conscious of achieving succession to the younger leadership. Our plan for this activity is that young people who are already participating in the disability sector will learn a lot more about the international processes and the international convention and what's happening in many other countries by participating in this Conference of States Parties. At the same time, they'll be able to take part on behalf of Australia's non-government organisations in putting the views of the disability sector forward at the conference.
I believe it will give me a stepping stone into achieving getting awareness across for social justice and disability. I believe it's something that is crucial that should be addressed across police and court systems. For rural and regional, I believe that this should also be a gateway into tackling Aboriginal youth justice, particularly with Aboriginal youth that have disabilities. I'm most keen on being able to enter social justice in the disability side and start a new road.
Particularly in women and disability rights. So the fact that I am representing WIDR is really important to me. And going over there and experiencing what it's like to be at the CRDP and everything that's involved with that will really have a big effect on, I guess, everything to do with my future and understanding everything that has to go with that.
Out of this whole experience, I hope to broaden my knowledge of disability policies, rights that we're entitled to as disabled people, and also to generally broaden my scope of what is happening worldwide, and to also come away with a better understanding of how we can take the Disability Convention from the UN and implement it here in Australia.
Speak Out is for those with intellectual disabilities. However, people with physical disabilities do come and attend. It's really great. We just get together and talk about what's going on or anything that's coming up. Yeah.
Fantastic. And what do you hope to achieve out of the COSP in New York?
Well, I hope to hear like new ideas of other parts of the world, as this will be like a world conference thing, like what they do in their part of the world, how we could probably learn from the law, the rights and laws that they have over there. So yes, that's what I really hope to learn from there.
Look, I just think it's just such an awesome opportunity to just really see the convention come into life in this global, context, in this international context, and having the opportunity to go with the Australian delegation who have so much knowledge and experience. I'm just going to take it all in, and I'm just so excited.
It's a fantastic opportunity, and it still doesn't feel real, I don't think. I guess for our organisation specifically, one of the barriers we have is we have an ageing membership, and it's often hard to attract younger people. And I think by me sort of demonstrating that you can, get out there and be an effective advocate and do things like this and achieve things, then hopefully it might attract more of a younger membership. But it will also help us to build links internationally and really build up networks with other people within the disability sector. And I think it will enhance my knowledge of the UNCRPD and the ways in which we can use that in our own advocacy and policy work.
In regards to New York, I think autism being the highest growing disability at the moment, there needs to be more of a focus on that, and being able to share my personal stories I think will be good in regards to how the UN can help with that, and being able to take some of their advice home and sharing it within the autism community as well.
I'm sure that these young people will come back from this conference better equipped to represent the disability sector in Australia. The conference takes place in New York at the end of June, so keep an eye on the website of the Commission or the Commission's Facebook and Twitter feeds, or my Facebook and Twitter feeds for continual updates.